I'll have to get you to say it again. We in no way think that this partnership is small. We value the CGTF members as a very strong partner for us. The PGA of Canada and the CGTF, that's the voice to golfers in Canada. We understand and realize that, and we value that more than you can imagine, right? So I don't want you to think that in any way this is small. This is a big, and we hope to grow into bigger and bigger as we go, and we continue to do great things together. One other announcement, it's going to be made soon, that we haven't touched on is we're also about to launch or announce a partnership with the PGA Tour for 2024. We'll be the official fitness and health partner for the PGA Tour for 2024 and many years beyond, we hope. So lots of exciting things ahead, as Mark said, but we want to leave tonight for you guys and answering any questions you may have, how we can use this system to help us as coaches, not only warm them up better, but actually get them to move better. So if we could just kick off now, Mark, I'll roll it over to Robin and we'll get started, unless you had anything else you wanted to lead in with.
No, not at all. You guys will do a great job. You go right ahead, and we'll just ask everybody that if you have a question do you want to hold, or do you want them to answer questions?
I'll let Robin lay the groundwork out of how tonight's going to proceed. Yeah. And then honestly, guys, no questions so silly. Please make tonight very interactive.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining us this evening. To the faces that we met on the last call and at the tournament, nice to see you again. And for the new faces on the call, we're really looking forward to sharing some great knowledge with you guys tonight. So we know that being coaches and teachers is so rewarding, but it's also one of the most challenging things because the game of golf is so effing hard. And none of us, myself included, practice as much as I should, or may not even have the same repeatable swing when I step to the tee box or when I prepare when I'm playing golf day in and day out. So tonight is all about helping you guys be better teachers, better coaches, better instructors using the Golfforever swing training system. And that's what we're going to kind of dive in today. So we're going to start off with some really common swing faults that you guys are seeing in your lessons, in your clinics, in your academies, and in your camps. And then what we would love so much is for you guys to also share with us some really challenging cases that you've encountered that you haven't quite really known where to go. And so tonight's going to be rapid fire. And this is what I'm so excited to really see Brandon work on his feet. And you guys can truly grasp his knowledge of blending his own academy, his own knowledge as a golf professional, but also using the Golfforever swing trainer to diagnose and correct and build. And that's what this is all about, is diagnosing, correct, and building this evolution of the golf swing. So we are going to leverage the chat function, but you guys can also unmute yourself. So this is going to be super interactive, and I want you guys to start thinking. So where we're going to start off is common swing faults. If we don't get to every single swing fault that you guys dump in the chat or that you guys share with us, we are going to follow up with you guys individually to go over that swing fault, either via email, phone, or Zoom, because we really want to equip you guys with the ability to understand the body, figure out the weaknesses, and build an exercise to support that swing fault. That's what today is all about, block practice. So do we have a swing fault from the crowd that we can go over as a group and really understand using the Golfforever swing trainer? What's the most common one that you guys are seeing? Either unmute yourself or throw it in the chat. Go.
Over the top.
Awesome.
Over the top? All right. Okay, so Mark, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Could you pin Brandon so he's big and we can all actually see him? I think, or maybe I can do it. Does everybody see it when I pin him? And is he big on everybody's screen right now?
I think once I start talking, I'll be big, right? It's kind of probably on the speaker series.
You're big.
If you can't see me, let me know. So we're talking about this guy right here, right? everybody's
Over the top.
thing. Well, not favorite, but one that we want to get rid of the most. So I like to look at things in two ways. I want to get people to understand what their range of motion is first, and in most cases, for a player who's swinging the golf club like this, typically what we're seeing is they're using their arms and their shoulders to rotate the pelvis and the hips. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to set this up. We're going to have them get this anchor point 90 degrees to them. Now, you guys have to create a judgment call based on who you've got in front of them. If it's my world long drive hitter, we can add more tension. Older person, let's take some away. And we're going to have them stand. I'm going to face you, but we're going to have them stand with their arms out in front of them and their feet together, okay? Standing to this anchor point. We're going to hold the tension in front of us, and then we're going to have them hold this here. I'm going to show it this way without the tension. We're just trying to see at this point, can they withstand the movement, or are they, right, can they hold the rotation? Once they do that, and I'm going to make sure if they're left-handed, the tension's going to be on the left. If they're right-handed, tension's going to be on the right, okay? We're going to have them hold it like this, and then I'm going to tell them, okay, what I'd like you to do is turn your belt away from the anchor, right? And for, I would say 95% of over-the-top swingers, we're going to see them do this, right? They're going to use their head. They're going to use their shoulders to try to turn their hips. So I'm like, no. We got to here, not here. We don't have disassociation in our upper and our lower half. When we get this club to the top of our backswing, we've got to be able to use our pelvis independently. So the first thing we're checking is, can they disassociate? Okay? If they can't disassociate, then
and we will send all of you guys these exercises through the app as well, so you know where to find them.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
They're never going to be able to create lag and disassociate and lay the club off, right? So as I get them to understand how to turn, then we're going to take tension and start to pull it away. So a player first needs to understand before they can disassociate their body. If a player can't, and you're struggling teaching them to like turn their hip, we got to teach them to do that without a golf swing first. So we're going to create rotation. Now, if they can't do it with separation, then we're going to kind of progress slowly and slowly and slowly. As a player can separate, now we're going to start to work on the sequential movement required to keep their arms back, okay? So we're going to do what we call a horizontal chop. Okay, horizontal chop. I'm trying to get this in the right, we'll do it this way for you, okay? So I'm going to
and we'll send
away.
all the videos afterwards too.
Lead arm is pointing straight, right arm, right? What people don't quite understand, I'm going to show you this way, is we just have to teach them to understand, like, the arm's job in golf is not to rotate our body, but it's just to kind of extend, correct? So I get them to understand what it feels like to just extend the right arm out or the left arm out and pull it in. Now we're going to start to add movement. So we have them turn, push off that lead foot, start to turn, still holding back. Because the key thing that we see with an over-the-top swinger is when they get here, this thing's going to start to turn out already, and then this thing's going to start to cut them across the ball. Like, we've got to teach them horizontally how to segment their body first. I'm going to step away from the camera so you can see my feet. I'm going to show you. And I'm really telling them, and we love the resistance for this, that as we're stepping away, right, first off, see my feet, over-the-top swingers are going to turn like this, right? They're not going to be able to sequence their body right. So you're going to see them turn this way. So It's first, get it off like this. We're not using our arms yet. Then it's, can we get to the toe? And then once we can get to the toe, then we can kind of shoot the arms out. So we're segmenting the movement for them first, and then having them go. When they're here, and a critical piece of this for everybody is end range control. Okay? If a player is in this position here on this horizontal chop, I want you to ask them, how are they keeping this here? Is it through the leg and the butt? Or is it this shoulder, this arm? Are they really driving forward with this arm to get, are they feeling shoulder tension as they're driving this forward? If they are, and they're feeling it in this back shoulder and this arm and the lat, and they're not feeling it in the glute, they're sequencing wrong. And they're not using their pelvis to drive the rotation first, okay? So we teach them to segment, then we teach them to segment horizontally. And now, let me list this up. Now we get in golf posture, and we take that same move we were doing horizontally, and we do it in a golf posture. We're taking that feeling of driving off trail foot and having the arms extend out, and we're taking that into this golf motion. And you notice that this is always kind of behind me when I'm doing this, so that a player can feel when they're using their arm and their shoulder to come across the legs. Okay, so
yeah, we never want to see that tension band hitting the player at any point in any of the exercises. That's the sign of a weakness. And if you notice the movement isn't being done properly and we get hit with the cord or some element of the swing trainer, we know we need to take a step backwards and revisit the previous exercise or look at a strength or mobility issue as well.
And one thing I want to really stress is that, and I'll show you here as we take those feels and then into a hit. Greg is looking for the presenter to be larger if that's possible. I've got a little hitting
Taekwondo action.
Okay. This comes from Pete Holman. Okay. Now I use this or a smash bag or a
target.
head cup. All right, now I'm left-handed. So let's just say I'm working through my movements, right? So I've now worked the player through those 3 moves, okay? And now they're kind of doing pretty good, and I want to build this block practice session so they can kind of get out of hitting over top and coming inside. So I have my hitting bay right here. I have them do 3 or 4 of these moves here. Then I have them do their step. And here's where I'm going to take this, okay? I'm going to stand right where the end of this is, where my anchor point is, and I'm going to hold this here. And I'm going to put it in a position where they really have to work really hard to get the trainer to where I need it to go. And once I have it there, then I say, all right, go back and hit it again. An over-the-top swinger will miss this if they're right-handed to the left and left-handed to the right, because they're always going to cut across their golf swing. They're never going to reach and extend through impact. So I'm going to take this, right?
We need to have you have an assistant there, Brandon.
And I'm out here, and then I'm just having them hit that, and I'm forcing that to go into end range motion. Okay.
And there's a few ways that Brandon can make it more difficult or a little bit easier, either like quick touch and release to the target or holding the end of the swing trainer on the target or adjusting the hand. So there's a few ways to modify this exercise as well.
Correct.
But most importantly, what Brandon and I always harp on is the accuracy component. We need this player to be accurate with tension so that when the player is using the club and hitting the golf ball, that becomes intuitive.
Exactly right. End range control is so critical that we're finding with this tool as we use it to change the pattern, right? One, it's forcing them, sorry, my head's cut off. It's forcing them to engage the right muscle chain to hold them there, right? Think gymnastics, I always say, like we want to stomp the landing. So we want to do the same thing here. So, all right. So now we've got them understanding movement. We're going to rotate this one, right, away from the anchor, belt only, no using head, no using shoulders. I had in a lesson, I don't know, 10 minutes. We were on the same thing because it took them 10 minutes to figure out how to turn their hips without using their head or their shoulders. Then we made really good gains after that. So we get them to do that. We get them to step and hit, really trying to control that end range, right? And then from there, I'm down in my golfer's impact. For me as a lefty, I would do it a little bit quicker if I was a better player. So I'm having them really try to create speed and as much speed and power as they can. You can see how he's coming away. And then I'm going to have them pick up a club and step up. And what I want to do is forget a full swing.
Don't worry, we can see you.
Forget a full swing. I want them to kind of mimic that same feel we just had. So I'll have them step right in from doing that drill into doing this drill there. And hopefully we see that nice kind of left to right pattern for a lefty start to go. And then I'll have them come back again and go, okay, one more. Let's do that feel again. Right, really trying to feel that same end range they just had here. After they do a couple, we'll come back, do the whole thing again. As you can hear by my voice, I'm not faking it.
And that's truly why we sort of, most of our players now, especially in the off season, come to the hitting bay in athletic clothes, because we're doing circuit style training, but for golf, which is very common in other sports and other fitness activities. And we're really trying to build those motor patterns and get that body stronger in areas that cause some of these swing faults. So that's a great one. And honestly, if we're going to translate that to a playing lesson, so if some of you guys do that with your players, or it's an offering that you have for your business, if you notice someone doing an over-the-top movement, take out your 15th club of your bag. That is now the Golfforever Swing Trainer. It's your 15th club. You're going to see Scotty with it in his bag on the practice range. It's truly his 15th club. And actually attach the resistance band to the cart or to something stationary and go through that quick block practice feel for 2 to 3 minutes. If you have time and no one behind you, I realize that's not incredibly focused on the golf etiquette side of things, but again, that's why it's a playing lesson. So we have the ability to practice some of these movements. And that's really how, whether it's in a lesson or anywhere, we can really get that player feeling those movements to correct some of that poor motor patterning when it does show up again.
So let's what I want to do is I want to high level hit a bunch of these ones, right? So over the top,
so
we're going to work on
short backswing,
body and stuff. So and Robin's bang on everything that she outlined there. I just know that I can talk a lot, and I want to make sure that I hit more than.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to one from Wayne, and it's going to be the short backswing. That's going to be the next one.
Awesome. Okay, so short backswing typically means obviously no thoracic movement. Now, the first thing that we're going to check is we're going to check our posture. Now, I'm not a physio, although I've partnered in one and I'm in their clinic. I like to joke around that I play one on TV from time to time. But if a player is in this posture here, right?
Curved C-spine or C-spine, either way.
Right? like, if we don't have our posterior chain of muscles engaged and our shoulders are super rolled forward and we're in this like kyphotic position, like how do we then teach them to rotate? I would say 95% of every player we've seen, the only player we haven't screened in here is a PGA and LPGA Tour player. Every other level, we've screened them. Everybody fails our posture tests, which is we use with this. So if someone can't rotate into their backswing, we're going to start at their posture. So I'm going to try to do this.
This is my favorite one.
Here we go. So here's this person. This is going to be, you know, Mrs. Haverkamp, Mr. Haverkamp, and they're here. And then they want to try from this position here to get this club turned around their backswing. It's just never going to happen. They can't turn from here. So all they can do to get this arm to come up is to fold. So we got to teach them two things. One, how to get their posterior chain of muscles engaged. And two, what a correct hip hinge is. So we're going to do those with one move. 3-point posture. So you're going to make sure that they can touch down here, middle of the back and the head. So you're going to see a lot of people like this. You're going to see people like that, like that. We're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff here. But what we're mostly not going to see is good posture. So we're going to first get these
I just saw everybody sitting up a little bit taller.
First get them to get to here, okay? Can we get those 3 points on? If they can't, they don't even know how to pelvic tilt to get that bar back down, right? Then we've got to teach them, okay, how to pelvic tilt, how to get these shoulders back, right? Then once we do that, we're going to attach some tension, and then we're going to have them tilt. And while they're tilting, can they maintain those 3 points?
There may be an element of this that you as golf professionals cannot fix. And this is where you may recommend physiotherapy, chiropractic, massage, if someone is unable to truly do the hip hinge, or suffers from severe kyphosis or posture related issues. That would be something that you cannot fix even using the Golfforever system. And you should recommend manual type therapy to release some of these muscles. That would be the only caveat for this one.
I was going to say that, right? And I think this is a great way to use this tool to say, hey, it would be best suited for us to seek some help from, and you guys, it would be cool if you could, is get a local partner. If any of you are in the GTA, just message Robin and I. We're happy to fix that. But if not, even reach out to Robin and I. I'm sure Robin knows a lot of people from in the health care around the country. You could create a partnership with someone there and be like, hey, I'm seeing these people struggle with rotation in their backswing. I checked their posture. I checked it, and it was bad. I think it would be really good for you, and I think people will see that you're in it for more than just their golf game. You're in it to take care of them, and I think that'll go a long way. So after we get to there, we're going to do 2 backswing ones, okay? The first one is going to be facing the anchor, chest facing the anchor, okay? We're going to have it, and if this is where this would come into handy really good here, okay? So it's going to start. Again, turn their core on. So everything from now on for this player is going to start by them in turning the core on. So now their core is turned on. They're going to squat down, pull in, and from here they're going to use their right foot to push and turn and rotate. And then from here, you as the coach, you're going to take this and you're just going to reach and extend this a little further this way. You notice, again, it's not coming across my body. It's not moving away. They've got control. The plane of this is working the same way. Once I establish that new end range position for them, I'm going to grab my smash bag, or I'm going to grab my head cover. I'm going to put it here. You can use your hand, but I don't recommend that. This thing hurts. So now we're going to have them come here, rotate, stretch out, try to reach that spot, right? Reach that spot. Reach and hit that spot. Reach and hit that spot. This is one of the ones on the warm-ups if you've done it and used it. Now, my next one, my favorite, if they're right-handed, they're going to stand right-hand side to the anchor, okay? And I'm going to show you two more. Okay, I'm going to do this first one face on. Okay, we're going to pretend that there's some tension on this. And I'm going to be in my nice, strong posture position. Anchors here. And we're going to rotate this back. Trying to
This,
get this.
they may feel restriction, and they may have to move a little bit slower to really get that T-spine moving properly, but it's also a great stretch, this one. It feels really nice after a big workout or kind of hunched over your computer or cell phone, traveling, whatever that may be. It feels really nice.
And I'll show you this as a lefty. So here as a lefty, I'm going to be here. I'm going to use that right foot. I'm going to push and I'm going to rotate and I'm going to turn, right? And I'm really trying to teach these players, like, look, we've got to keep our head inside the trail foot. So we don't want to be doing this. Oh, that was really nice. We don't want to be doing this and having our head come all out. No point of that, okay? And the nice part is they can use this to come across. Now, I will caution, if a player has this posture, okay, this is going to be very difficult for them, potentially painful.
Yes.
So you're going to have them do it this way.
The nice thing about this, guys, for folks of any ability level, there's modifications based on current body state, medical issues, surgeries, that kind of thing. So everything Brandon is showing you is modifiable. Either take away the resistance band, add resistance. Like this is not a one-size-fits-all situation. And the more you start to use this and work through the movements yourself, you'll really be able to understand how you can modify it for your students as well.
Bingo. Last one is we're going to set up, I'm going to demo as a lefty, okay? Right hand, left hand on top, right hand under. So like my golf grip, right-handed is going to be the other way. And as Robin said, easier, I'm going to bring my hands here. So juniors, older, weaker, like we're here. My long drive guy, he looks like a Viking. He's out here, okay? Just because I think it's kind of cool.
I was just going to say, show him the one that he bent.
That's the one he used in our last training session. And
so he's a little strong. He's just a little strong.
That's why I have him out here. Okay, so right hand on top, left hand under for a lefty, okay? We're going to come back, same thing here. Now when I get to this one, we're just going to continue to turn. I'm going to show you this way. And what we want to make sure is as that tension goes, what players with poor rotation are going to do is they're going to take this trail arm and they're going to pull this in instead of rotating. So what we've got to get them to understand is as we're starting to go into our backswing, right here where tension gets turned on, they've got to use rotation, not this fake arm pulling in, which gets kind of into this position back up here. So, and it's going to get them into feeling this. So now we kind of talk about what would this player's block practice look like. Facing the anchor, find the 3 points, do some tilts. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, when I do these tilts, a lot of times what happens is players will, I'll come this way so you can see it. Can you see my feet okay?
Yep, you're good. You're good.
Sorry. I get my workout in today. We see them go like into their heels when they go back. So we want them to get strong. So when they go back, we want them to be athletic. right? So if they're a hockey player, I'm like, let's play defense. Basketball player, let's play defense. Runner, can we run from there? So let's be athletic, right? So 3 of these. We'll do 3 of these, right? Really feeling that lead foot help propel that rotation, keeping control, right? Then we go over here, 3 of these, right? A couple of these. Do that there. And then I'll come over here, and what I'll have the player do over here is the first 2, I'll have them swing. I'll have them do it like this. They can kind of feel like
the same movement
for this to pull in. So feel that. And then I'll just have them do it nice and slow to start, right? Like feel that rotation, hold it there maybe. And then we can kind of have them come up here and hit, hopefully, not as big of a hook.
Perfect. That was a really great one. So the next one we're going to look at, Brandon, is backswing is too flat, shoulder turn is too level, and the club is tugged too far inside back, especially from the 3 o'clock position to the top of the backswing. That's a mouthful. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Yeah, that's okay.
I hope I summed it up.
So
Emmanuel, if you want to chime in and have a chat with Brandon too, and maybe explain that better.
No, hold on. It's flat. It's short.
Club is tugged.
And inside.
Yeah, it's basically, many beginners will tug the club inside and break that imaginary piece of glass behind them. And they're not raising their arms high enough. Obviously, you're not expecting them to raise them as high as Justin Thomas, but it just seems to be a lot of students just are too flat at the top and already way inside their plane before they even think about shallowing on the downswing.
I couldn't agree with you more. So if you look at me here, we're talking about this one, correct, Emmanuel?
Yeah, I mean, many students get taking it back okay, but when they get to sort of with the club level to the ground on the backswing, that's when they start really tugging it back.
I got you. So it's here, and then once they go here, they go.
Yeah. That's more closer to it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so the cool thing and what we're gonna find here is there's some overlap. Okay, so I would absolutely.
Yeah, and you definitely address some corrections in the first 2 demonstrations. Yeah.
So what I would add is I'll call it the Golfforever version of this drill. Everyone knows this drill, right? Where you gotta like push that straight back and keep the club going. Everyone knows that one, or the tee here. So I'll call this the Golfforever version of that. Okay. So what we're going to do, right-handed players, you're going to set up 9 o'clock to the anchor. Left-handed players, 3 o'clock to the anchor. And you're going to have them in their golf posture and their stance here, okay? So I'll do it as a righty for you guys this time. Okay. And again, something like this would be really helpful. Smash bag. Because what I'm going to do is, right, even if they get this here, it's from here they start to come back and around their body. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to establish a place kind of somewhere over here. And I'm going to have them think about using that left femur, left side of the book, if you will, to get this club to move away. So we don't want this coming across our body. I want that to come out. Shoulder will drop down. So we'll do a few of these this way.
Down and under.
To get them to start to feel that this club needs to continue to move out and away. So I would build this, Emmanuel, like this. I would start them with this one. I'll do it as a righty. So then I'm going to come over here, right? And then I'm going to come and I'm going to have them do this one, because right when they get to here, they're going to come down here. And you're going to establish that nice high spot. You're going to try to have them feel like this bar is across their shoulders, right? So they can kind of feel like they've got to go up a little bit. And again, keying that they don't want this elbow to come in here and reduce that width at the top, right? Keeping that nice and wide. Sorry, bear with me. So one, I would do this one, and I would do this one again as well, because that allows for that bigger turn as well to keep that right
open up
back. So I would have them do, I'll do it as a lefty so you can see the whole thing. So I'd have myself here, push, right? Really feel like I'm trying to get this away, exaggerate. Then I come over here, right? This guy there. This one here. Finish this one here. Right? Really feel that. I would come over here. And what I would do is the first one I would have them choke up a little bit and really feel that feel of that club being exaggerated, feel like that club of that leg throwing this club away from me. And then I would just have them kind of rehearse that feel of that club kind of moving away. And then I would have them hit one and then rinse and repeat. And I kind of say it all the time. It's like we're changing a motor pattern. And I don't know about you guys, but one of the first questions I ask is, how long have you been playing golf for? I just want to know how deeply rooted the habit is. My second question is, what sport did you play the most of? Because that is going to kind of help me understand what pattern they like to do. We got to change. If someone says they've been playing golf for 30 years, that's a deeply rooted pattern, right? So thinking that we can show them the feel one time and then they own it. So my saying is like, you know, how long do I do this for, this pattern? You do it till you can't get it wrong. We don't do it till we get it right.
And you do it until it becomes easy.
And then we move on. Someone said to me, you're going to the PGA show next week, and I don't know if I can work on my backswing for 3 weeks straight. I said, Andrew, you probably got to work on your backswing for 6 weeks straight. Like you're searching for YouTube videos for the downswing, because I won't tell you the downswing yet, but you don't know how to load your trail hip correctly and on time to use the downswing. So sorry for my swearing, but like, I won't swear. I'll like, who gives a damn, right? About your downswing. It doesn't matter. So again, that's again the thing that I say to them is like, especially when I've got this here, and it's like 2 out of 10, they hit the target in the middle, and then they're like, okay, what's the next piece? I'm like, you need to hit this 10 out of 10 times, and then be able to hit the ball 10 out of 10 times, and do that 100 times.
And almost do it with your eyes closed.
Yeah, like, or we could go to the next piece and you won't figure out how to do this piece and you won't get either. So what would you like to do? All right. So what's next, Rob?
Okay. So I know this is fun. I'm really liking this style. I hope you guys are as well. And I hope you're learning something from this. And as you can see, as Brandon mentioned, some of these exercises are interchangeable based on the swing fault that you're seeing. So it's perfectly okay to swap certain exercises in and out if you find one more effective for a certain level of player or style of player. There's over 5,000 exercises in the app, and we're going to show you guys what the app interface looks like and some of those kinds of things. So this truly is just the tip of the iceberg. But here's one coming from Dan.
Yeah, let's do, just looking at time, it's 7:45. So why don't we do one more? I'm happy. And
we'll do 2 more, and then
if we want to do another one of these in a couple weeks after the PGA, I'm happy to do these every few weeks if we want. But
yeah,
I want
and then we can even field some questions in advance and really dive into some complex ones. Okay, so this one
in the area, they can join me here for the next one.
The next one is similar, but I think this will be a neat way to position the exercises or the routine slightly differently, the circuit. So extension at the top of the backswing due to lack of thoracic mobility and poor scapular stability. So this one, we can really kind of do some of those shoulder exercises that we've looked at before, Brandon. Maybe this one would be a great way to introduce some of that.
Yeah. So it's, again, a lot of similar ones. We're going to add, they come with these. So can you say the shoulder part, Robin?
Yes. So extension at the top of the backswing due to lack of thoracic mobility or poor scapular stability.
Okay, so I won't redo any of the thoracic ones. I think you guys can kind of understand where we're going with those. Can I ask whose was it?
This one's Dan. Dan, do you mind unmuting yourself?
So you're actually showing a progression. When we have that so-called flying elbow sometimes.
Yeah, perfect.
If you were going to ask someone to do a 90-90, most of the time they can't even do spine neutral, right?
I agree. I agree.
So as much as you would want to try to get them in the right position, they just can't retract. It's a real serious problem because of posture, bad posture through the day. So the elbow has to fly out because bottom line, they can't stabilize the scapula.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, and then when you were talking about extension, are you talking about like as they try to do this, they're going to go into extension this way?
You'll actually see that. Yeah, they'll actually stand up at the end because they're trying to go John Daly, right? I'm with you. They're looking for length, and at the very top, you'll actually see that little extension of the spine.
Yeah. I'm with you. So we're talking about it. This player goes up. They can externally rotate the shoulder. So as they go up, they're trying to lay the club off. And in order to lay the club off, they've got to extend this way in order to do that.
You guys have had epic, but this time it is going to be in your house amongst your fans. What is it going to take this time around?
What?
Someone's got the hockey game on.
Yeah, I was going to say someone needs to be doing.
I love it.
Wait, I don't know
what's the score.
Okay, so Dan, I'm gonna do two things, right? The nice thing about this is we can use this to start to work on. I want to be
shoulder stability,
the side to the anchor, but again, the first thing that I want to check on a player is if we check them. I'm going to sit so you can see me. If I check them just standing in posture and I check what their external rotation is here, that's fine and well, right? We can see me standing here. I can get more than required. We take our test one step further. It's like, well, what is it here? Because this is where I care about it. You can see how I've lost external rotation. So the first thing that I want to do before we start to go is like, do they have it? And if they don't have it, again, this would be a great time to say, hey, I know you want to lay the club off, but you've got no external shoulder rotation. I've got this nice partnership here and we could get some help. In the meantime, we can do some 90-90 pulls to get these things. I'm going to go this way. I just want to be beside the anchor to get these turned on and activated. But if this is hard for the player and they've got no ability to do this, right? What I'm going to try to do with this person, and I'm open to debate here, is I'm going to show them their range of motion that they can control. I'm going to explain to them that while we have no external rotation here, we're likely going to hit a cut that we can control, but we're going to work with getting more external rotation with our 90-90 pulls and a couple other ones that I'm going to show you here. And then from there, I would like you to go back because the reason that they're going into this extension one is they've got no external, but it comes back to this one right all over again. Right?
The hip hinge, yep.
So
thoracic mobility.
Really bad posture. They're likely going to, when they hinge, and this is the one I want you to check for here, is when they hinge down here, when they come up, can you see the small of my back?
Yep.
When they come up, what we're going to typically see for that player you're talking about, Dan, is them do it like this. So do we see how there's a ton of space? So that player who's got this problem, and then when they go into their backswing, they do this. It's twofold. They don't know how to hinge their hips and control their pelvis without going into extension when they hit their end range of motion. Yeah? So what this player needs to do before we can fix this, because the likelihood of us being able to improve the poor external rotation to the point where they could put this club to a place where it can get to, it's likely not going to happen. I would prefer them to understand how not to go into anterior tilt. Right? Understand this next piece of turn their core on, straight Palloff press, and without lifting their shoulders,
not just yet.
how high can they raise this without going
without losing form?
Tilt, or I'll show you this way, without their shoulders coming up. So what we're establishing for this player is to understand, like, look, you only have control of this range of motion to here. So in your backswing, you can't go farther than here. What this player will need to understand, in my opinion, is how to use their pelvis, right, to make up for the lack of rotation here and their ability to get their hands deep. So if they come back and they're trying to get this club back here and they have to do it this way, I'll build this pattern for them, okay? Again, it's if I check and they don't have much. If they've got a lot of this and they just don't know how to do it in the swing, I'm going to build them up a feel of this one here and some of the other ones that I've done. In this case, they don't have it, okay? It's going to start with this one because I want them to understand, like, we need to use this pelvis to help us get behind this golf ball a little bit more, okay? So we're going to have them use this a few times, okay? We are going to, sorry, I reattach this. We are going to give them just a couple of this, just so they can get the rhomboids and all those muscles in the back activated. And then we're going to go to this one here, okay? And they're going to see where they can go. If they can't, at this point, and if you watch them right in the mid-back, right here, because that's where we'll start to see the break happen, right? And then if their arms are here, then we need to tell them, like, look, you can't get these arms to come up higher. You don't have the range of motion through your shoulders, through your trunk. So we establish that, right? Establish that height. Have them feel that pull off, right? I will have them do 2 of these or 3 of these, just understanding it may be right here, and they may have to pull in. I want them to not have to pull in, okay? So I want them to just turn and go. That may just be here, and that's okay.
It's all about working within their range, absolutely.
Exactly. Because that player, when they understand, I'm going to show you, they go from here, right? Or as they try to lay it off, we can get them to use this pelvis first, even if I don't use my arms and I don't use my shoulders, and I push off. We can play decent golf from here, right? And as this player can get those arms to go, or they can rotate more, like I haven't even rotated my shoulders yet. Like I haven't turned them at all. And we could play decent with a player with restricted mobility, right? But that player, to me, needs to understand how to get their arms above their head without breaking. Like TPI, they do it with this lat wall test. So we're kind of doing the lat wall test with some tension there to get them to understand where they can live. And then from there, yeah, if there's some external shoulder rotation stuff, I would send it out. But
and that's exactly, so Valerie just asked a great question. They may have external shoulder rotation, but what they're missing is that their shoulder blade doesn't move and is actually stuck from a previous injury, surgery, arthritis, or ailment. So Valerie, that would be exactly where Brandon and I would say this needs to be farmed out. So find a local manual-based therapist that you trust and build a referral partnership, because nothing we do from the Golfforever side or as instructors at large will be able to fix that unless you have another medical degree where we can look at the true cause of that. Because a lot of the time, biomechanically, it's coming from somewhere else. Our pelvis might be out of alignment. We might have issues with feet. There could be a lot of things up and down the kinetic chain that are actually resulting in a stuck shoulder blade. So that's truly where you would want to, whether they have a physiotherapist or a massage therapist already that they're working with that they trust, or someone that you know who knows the game of golf. That's almost a better partnership in my mind than asking them just to go find some Joe off the street who is a physiotherapist. Really having them understand the game of golf, the movement patterns of golf, and where some of these common injury patterns result from. That's critical to that piece. There's only so much we can do as instructors, and that really shows your knowledge of the body and the golf swing and putting your client's body first so they can continue to play long term without causing more injury.
And put it this way, if the player doesn't have it and I'm going to keep trying to do it and without teaching them how to like get their arm up without going into extension in their lumbar spine, like they're only going to probably take a series of 5-pack with us because they purchase with us. They get frustrated because we keep asking them to do stuff that their body can't do. And then they go, well, I'll just try something else because that didn't get better. Whereas if we said to them, hey, look, we've done some stuff with the Golfforever stick here. We see that you've got some mobility issues. Rather than me asking you and getting you frustrated, why don't we have somebody help you with some mobility, get the mobility, and then we can kind of pick up where we leave off so we can kind of move better. And then you don't get injured. And then after our series of 5 is up and you're still frustrated, you go see someone else. So I think there's a lot to be said about that partnership. And I think I say that a lot. I speak with passion about it. I'm in a physiotherapy clinic here. I moved my academy from the golf course to here. But I think it'll go a long way being honest with somebody saying, hey, look, we could, and this is why in this case here, and Dan, it's a great one you put up, is like in this case here, it's like, all right, we could try, but you can't, like you actually can't do it. So I can't teach you your body how to do something it can't do.
It's not capable of doing.
Structure problem, and it's a functional movement problem. Like it's not coachable. If you have the structure and it's a motor pattern problem, well, that's where we come in and that's where our expertise is. And that's why people come to see us, right? And I think when we can start to use this thing to show people like, hey, we're actually asking your body to do some stuff here that it doesn't have it can't
the
do
ability
it.
To do.
So that's kind of the main reason why you're having swing issues. And then once you kind of can move it, our job is then to give you the control in the new movement and put the right pieces of the puzzle together.
Awesome. So that, I think, just for the amount of time that we have left, if it's okay with you, Jeff, we're going to save yours until next time. It's a really good one.
Which one?
But he just dumped it into the chat. It's improve wrist and forearm stability and strength at impact. So I think, honestly, just based on time, we don't want to rush it, but we will put that as the first one for the next one. And honestly, these are so fun. So we'll work with Mark and make sure we do these more frequently. But I truly hope that you guys have been able to see how we can actually build some of these block practice sessions, how you can rinse and repeat some of these same movement patterns with different clients who have similar but slightly different issues, and really understand how to talk about the golf swing in a little bit more of a functional movement pattern. So I'm going to quickly share my screen and show you guys what the app is looking like here. Can everybody see this? You should be able to. So what we can actually do is kind of go through, this is what a dashboard looks like. And this is truly where Brandon has learned everything. It's been through trying it out, trying today's workout, but also going to look through the library as well. So we have a lot of different sections here. We've got fundamentals, and honestly, this is where a lot of these come from, is the fundamentals. There's also the education and pain relief that I think you guys would really appreciate, and some of these injury prevention pieces. But if we go here to fundamentals, we can really kind of look at all of these. Here you've got your address, different levels. We've got a few different
Scroll down, Robin. Scroll down there. Keep going. Keep going. There's one.
Yours may not look like
right
mine,
there,
though.
There in the middle, right? Someone is asking about bigger back turn, right? So you could do a 13-minute one, and then you could get all kinds of things about building a better back swing, right? There's a shoulder rotational one somewhere. I was going to try to see if we can find one there. All kinds of ones. So you could go, okay, I'm looking for some cool moves that I need for X, Y, and Z issue.
And you can actually type them in the top, right? So if we wanted to do,
let's do shoulder or back swing. Yeah.
Sorry, that's not the right. We can definitely type in shoulder here, so we can actually look at hip and shoulder. We've got a few different ones here, so there's a lot we can search, and we're constantly adding more to this.
There's
shoulder
one, right?
stability, shoulder and thoracic mobility with club, right?
But look, before you go further, Robin, right on the right-hand side there, right there, swing fault series, flat shoulder playing with the swing trainer, all levels. So that's going to be a perfect one for any of those exercises. Would be good for Mrs. Haverkamp, to a junior, to an elite player. So, sorry, carry on, Robin.
Yeah, so that's what I'm just saying, that there's a lot of different things going on here. And the more you play around with the app, the more you use it for yourself, the more you use it for your own practice, the more comfortable you're going to be using it in your lessons. So there's that there. And then what we just wanted to do is kind of share some of the opportunities for you guys to actually get the Golfforever system as a part of your program. So we have a few really great offers right now. We can buy 6-in-1 where we get one for free. Everybody does have the ability to access the PUD offer, which is $140 for your personal use discount. All of you guys get one of those. That's available to all CGTF members across the country. Then we kind of move into some of the wholesale product. Now, one thing to note is these trainers are sold at $168 a unit to you guys, and you guys resell them for $269 MSRP. So that's sort of the wholesale price versus the retail price. So you're making about $100 a unit there. Again, we have buy 6, get 1 free, buy 12, get 2 free, or the ultimate bundle is the warm-up station, 12 swing trainers, and then you get 3 for free, plus a complimentary Golfforever training for the professional staff or just you, whatever your team looks like. And then we also have the opportunity to do some live demos and events for your membership, for your lessons, for your students. So that's some of our offers. We'll send this out to everybody after the call today. And then some of the innovation that's coming as well, which we'll share with you guys. The most important thing you'll see right here is the wall anchor system. This allows you to put it up in your gym, in your hitting bays, things like that. If you don't have the space for a wall or a warm-up station, which are a little bit more costly, this is your path of least resistance here. You can also buy these wholesale to sell to your clients who may need a place to mount them in their space as well. Some of the mini bands, we're going to start seeing these worked into some of our workouts based on what you set your settings on in the app. And then lastly, down here, we also have a stability ball that goes with the whole system. So there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of innovation coming from Golfforever. And we wanted to make sure that was accessible by all of you guys. So there's PUD rates, there is wholesale rates, and then there is retail rates. So it allows you guys to make some incremental revenue to help continue to build your business, but also really just hone in on the needs of your clients, how to help diagnose an issue, and how to help them work towards eliminating that swing fault.
Yeah, these mini bands are really, really good. You know, I don't know if any of you have worked out with them before, but for guys, they can kind of ride up the legs when you're wearing shorts and kind of rip your hair out a lot and make really
wax.
Yeah, so I adore these things. I use them all the time.
And they come with 3 different levels as well. So everything that we sell from Golfforever comes with a medium. We've got 2 mediums here and a heavy. So there's lots of different strength levels. Just like we see when we get the actual swing trainer itself, it comes with the medium resistance band and the heavy. So everything is about a progression, but also being able to scale the exercises based on your students' abilities.
A quick way to show you, I promised Robin I would show, but a quick way to help a player get rooted down in their setup, like get grounded down. My whole thing is like, I want you to be in your setup position on the range with your earbuds in, not knowing anyone's around you, and someone could come up behind you and kind of nudge you, and you would stay like locked in place, and they would think they were pushing a tree over. So that's kind of my mantra. So again, we're setting this up, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this and externally rotate both these legs to really turn these on. And then I'm going to do that same thing again, really forcing these feet to screw in and really going at those glutes. So a really awesome way to get a player to, once they kind of understand the hip hinge, how to then build in some strength on that and help the rooting down of it. And you're going to see Scotty Scheffler. He does this with, you know, this thing here, some side steps into a side lunge with rotation. So there's a lot of ways we can build on it. I forgot to pull those out, Robin. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So one thing as well, guys, I'm going to dump our Golfforever Instagram channel into the chat. Honestly, the level of education that comes through the chat, seeing some of the workouts of some of our brand ambassadors and some of our pros, and just seeing some of the news and the hype that's going on with Golfforever, it's a great place to follow and get some really high level exercises and just motivation to start using the system, and just seeing some of the other high level academies that are using it across the world. So I know that tonight was jam packed. We really appreciate your guys' time. We are going to be at the Toronto Golf and Travel Show, and we are going to work with Mark to have a demo and like a special guest sort of event at the CGTF booth. We'll bring over a warm-up station so that when you guys are doing some of your lessons there, some of your students can actually experience this. So that's going to be a really fun weekend. We're so excited to meet you guys in person. And I'm really excited to do these. Greg, the prices are in Canadian dollars. Great question. For you guys, when you guys place your order, there's no tax and no shipping. So the prices you see are the prices you see. You, of course, as a registered business in Ontario or wherever you may be seated in Canada, you have to charge your applicable taxes as part of the CRA rules and filings. But again, these prices are in Canadian dollars. So that's $140 for a PUD unit, and then $168 at the wholesale price for the swing trainers. And then what I'll have Mark do is circulate some of those documents that I just showed on my screen. And for you guys as well, the PUD unit gets 3 months free app access as well. So that's a pretty nice icing on the cake as well. Some of our pros are doing the 6-in-1, so they get their unit paid for free when their students buy units. So there's a few ways to go about this. And if you guys have questions on how we can better integrate this into your business because every single person's business is different. We are here to help guide you. We have a headquarters with all of our digital assets, stuff for social media, stuff for newsletters, stuff for posters. So we're really here not only to help you in your actual lessons, but on the side of your business that needs to be supported to nurture the brand, but also sell units. We don't want to sell you something and it collect us. We would actually be doing you a disservice, and I would figure out a way to return them if they truly were doing that. We believe so strongly in this solution. And we will help you on the business side of it as well. So what we might do is look at the size of your academy, look at the makeup of your players, and give you a sales goal to work towards and give you the tools to actually get there to help build better players along the way. So here we have another few questions.
As Robin was alluding to, like, we always want to help you on the business side, and that's part of the education series. But Mark alluded to that investor, that few investors, Scotty Scheffler actually being one of them. So they're looking at some things a little closely than they were in the past. So that free shipping thing that we did note on these orders right now,
that might be changing.
It may go in the future. So I just want to say, if you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, jump in now, because in a month or so, the free shipping may be taken away from the offer. So I want to be upfront and honest with you guys.
Yes, good call. And then Valerie, yes, if you've already purchased, you are able to get a workout ball in the band. So just shoot us an email and we make sure we'll get you those. If you guys purchase something once, you can repurchase it. This is not a one and done. We're here to help you continue to grow your business. There's a lot of companies that do smaller orders and order when they need to replenish their stock in their inventory. Greg, the app costs about $34 a month Canadian. What we're doing is we're working on a coaching platform that would actually allow you to interact with your players and make sure you can actually see them continuing to do their homework, so to speak, but also give them certain workouts or exercises that they need to work on as well. So that's coming down the pipeline. Brandon's one of the minds working on this, so that's coming. So stay tuned.
And then if you purchase the app in a year, there is a price saving. So it's $269 for the app if they purchase it all up front in 1 year, which is the same price as the swing trainer unit.
Yes. And then there's a question about when someone purchased it and a discount. If you want to give us an email, here is my email. I'm dumping it in the chat. I'll see what I can do to help you out there. If we didn't place the order ourselves, there's a little bit less flexibility there, but we will do what we can to help you out on that side. Golfforever.com. And I think that's all for tonight. We wanted to thank you guys very much. Thank you to Mark for having us again.
Yes.
And we look forward again. We are here to help you at any time. So if you have a question, your student is struggling with a certain movement pattern and you want to do a quick discovery call like we did tonight with Brandon, please reach out. We're here to help. We're so excited to be with you guys, and I hope you guys got something out of this session. Brandon and I certainly did, and every time we use it, we figure out a different way to work with our clients. So I hope you guys find as much value as we do with the system.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having us. Thank you for your time, your enthusiasm, your interaction tonight, and your attention. We really appreciate it. And as we said, like, this is a big partnership in our eyes, and we're really excited for 2024 and the many years ahead. We really value what you guys do for golfers in Canada, helping them play the game better. And we want to be something that you guys can use on to help you guys teach better, coach better, and make more money along the way. So whatever we can do to help, we're here for it.
Well,
thanks so much, you guys.
No, thank you. You guys did a great job again tonight. A lot of new information, a lot of good information too. I think everybody would agree it was a good night. We'll definitely pass along to the rest of the members this video and the information to purchase the product and the app. because I think the product without the app is only half of the, or less than half of it. So yeah, we got to get the app going. Like I said before, I use it all the time now. I use it before every lesson. And it's been fantastic to know my students in the middle of January that haven't hit any golf balls
Exactly.
since October or September, and they're, well, I'm going here, I'm going there on February 12th or whatever, and we're going to do a little work before they leave. Instead of watching them hit terrible shots because they haven't swung a golf club, we get them to feel like they're in July, and it's
also got a door anchor, so they can actually take it with them when they go down on their trip, and they don't have to worry about space. So that's it's a double whammy. It's the coach that goes with them wherever they go. It's truly the 15th club in your bag.
I think the hardest part about using Golfforever is there's so many great videos and exercises to choose, which is right at the right time, just as a warm up or whatever. I think that's one of the hardest things to navigate.
The best thing to do, Mark, honestly, is if you've done the assessment, the daily workout is curated and developed based around your assessment. So if you do the daily workout every day, and then you start to favorite them, then what you could kind of do, and I think maybe what you were about to allude to, but I cut you off there, is like you do your daily one, and then you go, oh, that was only a 30-minute one this way. I still want a little bit more. Oh, where's the library we can go to? So I think as you go, it's really great. Like when I first got the system, I separated my shoulder, so I couldn't even do a push-up on the assessment, and it slowly got me to develop to the point where I could get it there. So I think it's super intuitive, and we're going to try to leverage that in the coaching app, where we can kind of help you guys build what we did here using the app, and kind of can send the players some recommended workouts. Like, hey, does your player have struggle with X, Y, and Z move? Do they look like this in the picture? You can kind of say, yeah, actually they do. And then the system will kind of spit them out and say, hey, recommend these to your player. And then you could recommend them. And then on the back end, we would be able to see as a coach whether they're actually using it and working out. So when they come back and be like, hey, I see you've been doing it 7 times. Awesome. And you'll probably see some benefit. So I kind of got on a tangent, but you're so right, Mark, that the app, it gets addictive. You could see, I'm out of breath pretty quickly here. So it's the best thing you could ever do for your game. And the added bonus is it's also going to help you become a great coach along the way as well. Sorry, you already are a great coach, but it's adding another tool in your toolbox to be able to do that. And lastly, and I promise I'll shut up, I am at the PGA show all next week. So if you are in Orlando, I'll be on the demo day range on Tuesday, and at the booth Wednesday and Thursday. So please come see me.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Have a great evening, everyone.
Yeah, we'll probably stick around and talk, but thank you guys for coming on and doing a great job. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Okay.
So that was a pretty good presentation. There's lots of information in there. The one thing that keeps coming in my mind is if you're teaching in a facility where you have to pay for range balls, how much of your lesson just got easier if you're doing, exercises versus just banging balls? Like, if you've ever found yourself trying to not kill time isn't the right word, but trying to make sure that you pace yourself so they don't run out of range balls within the lesson time. If you had a Golfforever hooked up, there's a lot of things you can do to train and ingrain the proper habits.
Yeah, I think it's really a good way to slow things down, right? Because you get those ball beaters. We all have them. We all know who they are. But if you can, shake this up and get them to work on a specific piece of their puzzle, by, imitating, the motion or a piece of the motion that you want them to do, and using the constant tension of the band is going to be a surefire way to really start to change those motor movement patterns. So, yeah, I think it's got to be integrated properly. It's got to be used properly, and make sure that we've asked a good sort of health questionnaire. Because if we get into those situations, maybe like Valerie was talking about with, like for me, like my right shoulder, that's as far as I go, right? That's it. That's all it does. So how do we work within those limitations and we don't aggravate or injure, our clients?
That's what I was kind of considering while they were talking about that. I don't know if you saw me moving my arms around, but yeah, that's what I was kind of doing. And the other thing, I think this system, I think it helps us to better understand our students and to better explain, because the wording sometimes when you word it or you show them, they still don't understand. But if you actually give them a quote gizmo, as they call it, to try out and to show them, okay, this is what you're lacking or this is where you're lacking, I think that's quite helpful for them to learn. And it's also helpful for us as the teacher.
How many people, has anybody actually done a Golfforever warm up or workout like from the app? Has anybody done one yet?
I have the equipment. However, I am the one that's seeing a chiropractor and a physiotherapist for my exact problem, the shoulder blades. And I have that problem. That's why I posed that question. Yeah. So I have the equipment. I definitely want to try it. And Brendan I spoke with him and he's been kind enough to say, yes, try it for a week and then come back to me and I'll help you out.
I've gotten
as far as the assessment.
Glenn, you've done them?
Yeah, you and me both, Glenn. You and me both. Me and both. Mine's in my shop.
Use it every day.
You use it every day?
Yeah. It's a great stretching tool. Like for posture. It's but yeah, I'm just starting to get into it more and more now. But done the assessment and starting on the workouts. The app is great. Looking forward to the next couple months.
Me too. Like I've started in November doing, some of these exercises, mainly 1 or 2 a week, and think, as golf season here ramps or gets closer, then I'll start getting a little more intense with it. But the stuff that I've done, it's been really cool. I really enjoy. I can't believe there's some exercises that I really struggle balance wise. I struggle rotation wise, and I think of some of my students. If I can't do this stuff, how could they ever do this stuff? And like they talked about today, how could they improve when there's so many obstacles physically, right?
I discovered I had mobility issues I didn't know about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had posture issues for my whole life, and they didn't go away. So,
well, I think we all know, right, personally and professionally, that we develop compensations.
Yeah.
Right. So we make it happen through, a compensation in our swing. We understand what it's a ball and stick game. We got to get the stick and the club head down to the ball. So how do we best do it? And we, through trials and tribulations and a lot of swinging and swearing, the brain figures out a way to do it. But there has to be, a more efficient way. And is that realistic? Is that achievable? Again, depending on our fitness and flexibility packages, that's sometimes a long road to hoe.
The problem is, Jeff, when you say that you have done all these compensations, what I've ran into now is I've compensated so long that the parts and pieces that have compensated for what was wrong in the first place are broken down. Yeah. And so now we're having to fix 2 instead of 1. Yeah. And so it's hard. I don't know if have you run into the same thing with your right shoulder?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm not alone then in that department.
No.
Hey Jeff, is there a football game on tonight?
The Buffalo Bills just beat the
They won?
Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes.
Yeah, they just beat the Steelers. I watched that
Yeah.
game until I got
Yeah.
on the on this call.
Wow.
Yeah. And now there's another one on tonight.
I thought you had the Bills apparel on, the hat and the
I
shirt.
do. Yeah.
Good on you.
That boy, Jeff. I know there's in our area here in Belleville, there are so many Bills fans. It's you know, you would actually think football is relative. There's so many. No, the football is huge now, and everywhere you go, people are one or another. But there's a lot of Bills fans down here. Probably even Kelvin. Are you a Bills fan? He's on mute, but
no, actually, an Eagles fan.
oh right, I knew that too because you went there this year. So big Eagles fan. So all right, folks. Unless do you guys have any questions for Jeff or I, or are we going to call her in the evening? It's a little call it an evening. For those just few people that are going to be at the Toronto Golf Show, I'm going to send out just a couple of emails if you have your name tag from last year, that saves me a bit of work. If you don't, then I'll replace it. Welcome everybody to drop by our booth. Remember that even if you're not going to work and teach, just show your membership card at the door. You can get in for free. So Lars does that. If you have your card, they'll let you in. For everybody else, we'll be in contact. Haven't heard, Emmanuel, are you coming back, or you were there last year, but you're on mute. Are you going to?
I am coming back. Yeah,
you're going to teach a little bit at the show?
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Okay, because I didn't have you on the list yet, so you're.
Oh, I thought I was on the list. Okay. No, I like to come. Yes, for sure.
You're in
on the naughty list.
You're in like Flynn.
Thank you so much.
So anyone else, if you want to come as a late entry, just shoot me an email tomorrow and I'll get you added to the list. And if you just want to drop by the booth, we'd love to see you and talk. And also just a reminder that in May we are headed to BC. So there's one individual on here that looks great and was the first person to sign up and register for the 2024 CGTF Cup on May 14th in Surrey Langley area at Green Tea, and that is Tim Crow. It's already registered.
Oh, good on him.
I'm in. Yeah,
not,
let's play. Let's play.
Not even from BC, which I love it. He's committed, going from Alberta, from Calgary over. So anybody out there, we sure hope to see you. And
I wish you'd sent it out. I wish you'd sent it out just a week before. I'd already booked my flight to go to Vancouver on the 17th.
Oh,
really?
And I can't change the darn thing. So
that's too bad. That's
one of those tickets where you pay and you can't do anything with it, right?
Well, we'll be crossing in the air because I think we're flying home on the 16th or 17th. We're already on our way home.
When is the show in Toronto?
Second, third, and fourth
of February.
I wish everybody well. Wished I could be there.
So our next continuing education is going to be doing club fitting, and then so I'm just going to work with Jeff and Paul Kelly from Newfoundland about a date, but I expect it's going to be definitely before February 2nd and 3rd. So we'll get it out before the end of January. We'll have one more, and then in early February-ish, maybe mid-February, we're going to have Greg Wells of Golf Shack, if you guys watch him on YouTube, about creating YouTube content. And he's actually a professor. I'm not exactly sure, computer animation or computer something with video in Newfoundland as well. So we're tapping into our East Coast friends for a couple of continuing educations, and then we'll have some more in February as well. So because the winter's going fast. I don't know whether you realize that we haven't had much winter in most of Canada, and it's cold, cold, cold. But we're only like 8 weeks away from the start of golf season, really, right? You know, when you start thinking about it that way, it'll go fast. So,
All right.
thanks, guys, for your support and coming on, because it's a lot better when you guys come on and hang with us. And great to see everybody. I look forward to seeing
and get get interactive and involved and ask great questions. Yeah, that's why we all
Thank you so much for all that you do.
Learn.
Thank you so much for all that you guys do. It's a lot of work to put all these things together.
Yeah,
It is.
it's fun. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Night, guys.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
See you, everybody.
Thank you.
Go Bills.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, go Bills. Go Montreal against those Avalanchers tonight.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.